Right now, thousands of homesteaders are making a single poultry decision that will either multiply their income for the next 5 years or quietly drain their farm dry before the second season ends. Most of them are getting it wrong. Not because they are lazy, but because nobody has ever broken this down the way we are about to. Today, we are putting two heritage giants through a full technical war. The Black Australorp versus the Rhode Island Red. Two completely different genetic weapons. And only one of them is built for the exact goal sitting on your property right now. By the end of this video, you will know exactly which bird belongs in your coop, and which one will cost you money you cannot afford to lose. Stay with us because the answer may genuinely surprise you. Let us start with the Black Australorp and why serious producers worldwide refuse to build a homestead without it. This bird is not an accident. Breeders in Australia spent decades engineering it from the heavyweight English Orpington, obsessing over one mission: maximum yield under pressure without sacrificing a single pound of carcass quality. When you look at this bird, the structure tells a full story immediately. The body is wide, deep, and architecturally built for serious production. Roosters lock in at a solid 9 pounds of dense functional muscle. Hens hold steady at 7 pounds year-round. This is not feed-bloated mass. This is working muscle that performs in the yard and on the table. Their dark beetle green plumage is doing real work beyond looking extraordinary. Those dense dark feathers trap radiant heat during cold snaps and give your flock a genuine thermal advantage that most producers never account for when they plan their winter systems. Now here's where things get financially alarming for anyone not raising this bird. The Australorp holds an actual world record in egg production, not a marketing claim. A verified historical record achieved without artificial lighting or modern feed manipulation. In a properly managed homestead setup, you are realistically looking at 250 to 300 large brown eggs per hen every single year. That is not where the real money lies, though. The real financial advantage that most people completely overlook is persistence. Commercial hybrid layers collapse metabolically before they hit their second birthday. Meanwhile, the Australorp maintains a steady and productive laying rhythm across multiple seasons. That longevity compresses your flock replacement cost dramatically. Every season you do not need to replace a hen is pure recovered margin sitting back in your farm budget. Here is a piece of information that changes how you budget your entire operation. When Australorps have genuine access to managed pasture, their foraging aggression drops your commercial feed dependency to levels that would shock most new producers. These birds hunt grubs, ticks, and grasshoppers relentlessly. They pull massive protein value out of legume-heavy pastures that you are already maintaining. Feed costs shrink. Egg yolk carotene levels rise. Your product becomes visually premium without any additional input from you. This breed reaches point of lay between week 20 and 24. That timeline is deliberate and protective. It gives the skeletal frame time to develop the structural integrity needed to sustain years of reproductive output without the joint and metabolic failures that plague faster developing commercial birds. Their cold tolerance drops to 32 degrees Fahrenheit before egg production slows at all, which means your winter income stream stays active without you paying for supplemental heating infrastructure. At the genetic level, the Australorp carries a completely dominant black plumage gene. Any cross with a lighter heritage line produces dark-feathered offspring across the board. That is a direct camouflage advantage against aerial predators that cost you nothing to implement. Combined with its ability as a hybrid base, crossing Australorps into heavy meat lines produces young birds with exceptional breast structure, superior immune architecture, and dramatically better survival rates through the brooding phase. Their meat profile is not a consolation prize either. Processing surplus males at 6 months yields dense, richly textured cuts with a genuine flavor depth that commands premium pricing from customers who have tasted real heritage poultry. Hens that retire after their 4th laying season still carry enough carcass weight to produce collagen-rich bone broth that your most loyal customers will pay extra for every single time. This bird turns every input dollar into a laid return. Eggs, meat, pasture improvement, hybrid genetics, and flock longevity all working simultaneously. That is rare in any livestock system. Now let us talk about the breed that rewired the global poultry industry and why ignoring its genetic secret is one of the most expensive mistakes a small-scale producer can make. The Rhode Island Red was built for survival. Not comfort, not convenience. Survival. Breeders cross heavy Asiatic fowl with agile Mediterranean lines and forge something close to indestructible. The result is a rectangular, mahogany-colored bird built like a working machine. Roosters hit 9 pounds with broad chest that signals serious meat yield. Hens lock in at 7 pounds with a kind of structural density that holds up across years of demanding production cycles. Standing on those thick yellow legs, this bird was designed for rough terrain, harsh weather, and relentless output. And it delivers exactly that. Between 200 and 280 premium dark brown eggs annually is what a well-managed Rhode Island Red flock produces. Those numbers hold steady across 3 to 4 productive years before replacement becomes necessary. For a homesteader calculating long-term farm economics, a hen that lays vigorously for 4 seasons without decline is not just a productivity metric. She is a structural pillar of your entire profitability model. Their cold hardiness is genuinely elite. These birds shrug off temperatures down to 10 degrees Fahrenheit without halting production. That is not a minor detail. That is 22 degrees of cold. Tolerance beyond the Australorp in a single winter statistic. In regions where brutal winters are part of the operating reality, that gap directly determines whether your egg revenue continues or disappears for months at a time. Their foraging instinct is bold and strategic. They patrol actively, hunting seeds, tender greens, and insect protein across wide-open pasture. That behavior lowers feed costs and simultaneously improves pasture health through natural soil aeration and pest management. The constant physical activity also deepens their muscle development in ways that produce a harvested carcass with exceptional flavor density and texture unavailable from any confined commercial bird. But none of that is the Rhode Island Red's greatest weapon. Here is what changes everything for a producer who wants to build a genuine breeding operation. The Rhode Island Red carries the sex-linked gold gene. That single genetic trait is a reason this breed dominates commercial crossbreeding programs globally. When you cross a Rhode Island Red rooster over any silver-based maternal line, you unlock day one color sexing. Newly hatched chicks reveal their sex through down color alone on hatch day. No equipment, no waiting, no uncertainty. You immediately separate future layers from meat roosters and begin feeding and managing them as distinct economic assets from day one. That cross also triggers hybrid vigor at a level that fundamentally outperforms either parent breed in isolation. The resulting hybrid layers inherit the Red's foraging aggression and laying consistency while adding the ruggedness and size of the maternal line. Producers who have mastered this gene no longer depend on outside hatcheries for quality stock. They design their own lines, control their own genetics, and capture the margin that most homesteaders willingly hand over to commercial suppliers every single year. Here is the honest financial comparison that will help you make the right decision for your specific operation right now. If your primary revenue engine is consistent premium egg sales and you are running a tight, high-density coop system with managed pasture access, the Black Australorp gives you the most financially stable outcome. Their docile temperament keeps flock stress low at higher densities. Their laying persistence protects your revenue across multiple seasons without heavy replacement investment. Their foraging efficiency in legume pastures will visibly cut your feed costs within the first full production cycle. If your vision includes an active breeding program, diversified revenue from chick sales, or you are farming in a climate where winter temperatures routinely drop below freezing, the Rhode Island Red is not just a better choice. It is the only rational choice. The cold tolerance alone justifies the decision in northern climates. The gold gene breeding capability multiplies your revenue streams in ways the Australorp simply cannot match. And their low-maintenance resilience turns harsh land into productive pasture without constant intervention. Both of these breeds will outlast, outperform, and outlive every industrial hybrid on the market. There is no losing decision here. There is only the wrong breed for the wrong system. The homesteaders who are building real long-term food independence right now are not leaving this to chance. They are studying both breeds, understanding their farm-specific demands, and selecting deliberately. The ones who do not make the time to understand genetics, production cycles, and feed economics are the ones who end up replacing flocks every 18 months and wondering why their operation never gains momentum. That is not going to be you. Now here's what you need to do right now before this information fades. Decide which production goal matches your farm. Egg volume, breeding control, climate resilience, or a hybrid of all three. Because the producers already implementing these strategies are pulling consistent income from heritage flocks while everyone else is still debating. Every week you delay that decision is a production cycle you cannot recover. If this breakdown gave you real value, do not leave without subscribing to Livestock Labs. We drop deep practical poultry content every week built specifically for producers who are serious about building lasting farm income. The tutorials, breed analyses, and crossbreeding guides we have lined up in the coming weeks are not available anywhere else in this format. Miss one and you miss a strategy that could redefine your flock's entire economic output this season. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and share this video with one farmer in your network who is still running the wrong bird for their system. We will see you in the next one.